Namaste. Maya, illusion. I'm sure you've heard of that word before. But what is Maya? And more importantly, what are the layers of Maya that we are experiencing right now, at this very moment, including my image and voice that you're listening to right now? It's the first layer of Maya that you're experiencing now, watching me, because this is a recording. And while you're watching me in my recording, I am probably doing something else. Interesting, right? Now, Maya is translated loosely as illusion. But it's not illusion. Illusion means not reality. Maya in Sanskrit means to create form. Rather than a simple trick or hallucination, it's often described as the cosmic energy that projects the universe, acting as a veil that hides the ultimate truth. It's ever-changing, and everything that changes is Maya. And we are experiencing Maya in layers and layers and layers. And I'm going to show you how to instantly recognize Maya in layered form. And you'll have the power to instantly calm your nerves and empower your journey when you recognize that. So, please stay with me to the end. And I'll also give you a practice that you can start doing right now to make that shift a reality. First, I want to ask you something. And I want you to actually sit with it before you answer. What if the thing that's keeping you stuck, like the financial ceiling that you have, the relationship pattern in your life, anything at all, the version of yourself that you can't seem to get past? What if it isn't a problem because of your doing or strategy? What if it is a problem with what you think is real? I want to take you somewhere for a minute. It's a dark night, and you're walking down the road. You're walking down a road that you've walked hundreds of times before. You know this road. But tonight, it's very dark. No lights. Just you and the sound of your footsteps. And then you see it. Right in front of you. Right there. On the path. Right in front of you. A snake. Coiled. And it's still. And it's waiting. And suddenly, your heart slams in your chest. And you stop. You take a step back. Your whole body floods. Your hands go cold. Something takes over you at that moment and says, do not move. Stay still. And then someone comes up behind you with a light, with a lantern, a torch. They hold it over your path. And there you see on the ground is a rope. Just a rope. A rope coiled. Still, completely harmless. Now here's what I want you to notice. You see, the fear was real. The cold hands were real. The frozen breath was real. Your body had a completely genuine physical response to something that was never there. And the moment the light came, the snake didn't go away. It didn't retreat. The snake just vanished because it was never there. What was there was a rope. And what your mind did with that rope in the darkness, that was something else entirely. This story is about 2,500 years old. It comes from Adi Shankaracharya, one of the most brilliant minds this world have ever produced. Adi Shankaracharya, he used this story to explain one word, to explain Maya. Now, like I said, most people translate Maya as illusion. And that translation has caused more confusion than almost anything else in Vedic philosophy. Because when people hear illusion, they think fake. And they say in their mind, well, my bills aren't fake. My body isn't fake. My situation is very real. Thank you very much. And they're right. Shankaracharya used this story to explain what Maya is. He said, the rope is real. The world is real. What Maya points to is something far more specific. Maya is what happens when you take something real and in darkness of not knowing, you turn it into something that isn't real. And then you keep on living inside that version of it. That's Maya. Not just illusion. Now here's where what I want to share with you. Because I know some of you watching this, you're in a situation right now that feels like it has no exit. Tough situation. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's relationship. That's been the same story for us human beings for years. Maybe it's just feeling that your life is going to stay exactly as it is, in a rut. And I want to say something to you before we go any further. You see, the reason it feels permanent is not because it is permanent, and we know that. It's because it changes slowly. Think about your house. You go home tonight. It looks like the same as it did yesterday. It has the same walls, the same furniture in the same place. The family behaves the same way. The bills arrive like clockwork on the first of the month. Every single month, without fail. You see, that slow rhythm, that repetition gives you the feeling of permanent reality. Like, this is just how life is. Like, this is the fixed truth of your situation. But think about a plant. You put it in the pot. You water it every day. It looks basically the same. But come back in 2 years. It's completely a different plant. The leaves that you see today are gone. The branches look completely different. The whole thing renewed without you ever seeing the moment that it changed. You didn't see it grow. And your body is doing the same thing. Not one cell in your body is the same to the one you had, say, 5 years ago. The bones, the tissue, the blood, all of it, slowly replaced. You're not the same physical object that you were a decade ago. And your situation, you know, the one that feels permanent, the one that feels like it's never ending. And that's like a plant too. It was never as fixed as it looked. I want you to actually feel that for a moment, because this is genuine hope. Whatever you are sitting in right now, it's moving, and it has always been moving. The only question, and the only real question, is which direction is it growing? And that is something you have more say in than you currently believe. So let me show you how this actually works. Okay? Imagine the room you're sitting in right now. Look around where you are actually. The walls, the floor, the furniture, what's around you. That room, that's your life. The parents you were born to, the country you're in, the relationship around you, the financial reality you're currently standing in. That's your life. In Vedic understanding, that's the stage, a stage you perform that got built from your past karma. It crystallized. It became a set. And you're the actor on that stage. Now, in that room, there are 2 televisions, TVs. One television is playing an apocalyptic movie. And you're watching that movie. Everything falling apart. You see scarcity everywhere. The story of someone who tried and tried and couldn't make it. On the other television is playing something completely different. An inspirational movie. A man moving through his life with kindness and wisdom. Real relationship, real abundance. And he's moving with confidence. A confidence that comes from knowing who he is. So we have 2 different screens. We have 2 different movies playing. And you settle in and you start watching the first screen. And within minutes, you're in the movie. And the mind starts spinning. What if I can't protect the people I love? What if it's already too late for me? What if this is just how it goes for someone like me? All of that from a movie, from something that is not present in the room. A clear possibility for your own life. Now, switch to the other screen. The inspirational movie. You're sitting in the same room, same chair, same you. And you get into that movie. You're focusing on that movie. And something suddenly loosens. A possibility enters your mind that wasn't there a minute ago. Your mind starts moving differently. Now, what changed here? You see, the room did not change. The bills on the table didn't change. The real situation, none of that changed. What changed was the vision you were being told. Vision. And here's something about that word, television. Television. Have you ever actually broken it apart? The word television? tell a vision. Tell a vision. It literally tells you a vision. And the programs you watch on the television called programs, literally programming your mind. It programs what you see as real. And I don't just mean news, though yes, absolutely the news. You see, those two screens we were just sitting with in that room, Maya isn't just what's playing on the screen. Maya is the moment you forgot you were in the room. Maya is when you stopped being the person watching and become the person living inside the movie. You forgot you were in the room. The inner television. The one narrating your life, telling you what's possible, what people like you do and don't achieve. That's the most powerful form of Maya. So, how do you work with this? And let me walk you through it. And I want to give you a real life example first. Something you're probably already feeling in your body. Right now, Trump is creating chaos. I say it because the irony is almost too perfect. The man is literally a reality TV star. He built his entire public identity on a TV show, The Apprentice. And that's a show about who gets to succeed and who gets fired. Now, that same energy, that same television reality is being broadcast as the actual state of the world. Literally. And people on both sides are glued to it. The people watching his destruction, furious, they're terrified, and they're activated, and they're completely inside the movie. That's one layer of Maya, the fastest layer of Maya. The news cycle, the outrage, the hope, the collapse, the next headline keeps you in the movie. All of it changing rapidly on a daily basis, which is actually easy to see through once you know what you're looking at. But here's what I really want you to look at. While you're watching that fast, layered Maya on the screen, there's also another layer, a slower Maya running in the background. Your life. Another layer of Maya. But one that's more crystallized, more solid for you. Crystallized by your karma, each one of us. your family, the way money was talked about in your particular family and not talked about in the house that you grew up in. The relationship patterns that have been running probably for generations. This is another layer of Maya, one that is more solid, and it feels like your life. The belief about what is and isn't possible in your particular situation. It's different. That's another layer of Maya, the slow-moving Maya. And that's the only one that has you. Not Trump, not the news, not whatever is happening out there in the fast world. The slow Maya is your personal movie. Still a Maya, but it moves very slow. And it will also go away. Just like a plant, just like the body. And it's moving right now, whether you feel it or not. And the only question is, who is choosing the direction, the focus? So, first thing is you notice which movie is running. Not the Trump movie, not the news movie, your movie, the slow one. Is it a scarcity channel? The story that the ceiling is real, that this is permanent, that this is just how it goes for you, the belief. The first thing is to notice that. And go ahead and name it. And say, not this. The ancient teachers called this practice Neti Neti. Not this, not this. And most people understand the first half of it. Because saying not this to the hard times, that's the beginning. And it's easy to do. I mean, who would say not this to good times, right? But here's where the real wisdom lives. The person who is actually growing. And the real indication of wisdom is when they can say, not this, to prosperous times too. Not this when the money is flowing. Not this when the relationship feels perfect. Not this when people are praising you. When life is finally going your way. You must say, not this. This is not real. Not this. And I know how it sounds. It sounds like, why would I push away the good? I would say, yes, this. But think about what happens to most people when good times arrive. We grip onto it. We start making decisions from a place of protecting the good thing. We become afraid of losing it. Afraid because before it's even there, it's even fully there. And And that fear, that gripping, is still the apocalyptic movie. It's still the suffering from a bad movie. Neti Neti to scarcity. That's a start. Neti Neti to prosperity. That's wisdom. Because the person who can say not this and not this to both situations, they're not owned by either one. You can move through scarcity without being defined by it. And you can move through abundance without being consumed by the fear of losing it. That person is free. Here's what I want to leave you with. You see, the room that you were sitting on didn't disappear. The house or apartment doesn't disappear. Your bills won't disappear. The stage you're on, the actual circumstances, the real things on the table, the bills on the table, you work with those. You show up for those. But there are two things happening at once. You see, there's the outer situation and there's the inner movie that you're running about the outer situation. And when you look at both, the scarcity and the abundance, when you look at the fear and the hope and say, not this to all of it, you finally checked in. You finally realized of the room that you're sitting in to what's actually here. You're not in the movie. You're not about the movie. So here is a practice of Neti Neti. The practice of saying and really knowing that not this is not reality. Start small. You sit for 5 minutes. And whatever comes up, the worry about money, or the tension in a relationship, and the fear about what's coming, fear about the future, you look at it. Don't fight it. Don't try to fix it. And don't run from it. Just look at it and say, not this. This is a passing form. This is the movie on the screen. This is not the permanent truth of who I am or what my life is becoming. Not this. Neti, Neti. And then when something good happens in your life, good coming into your life, like when the money is flowing or when the relationship feels right, when people are lifting you up, and life finally feels like it's going your way. Sit with that too. The trick is to feel it fully. And then say, not this either. Not because the good doesn't matter, but because you're bigger than it. Because you're bigger than the fear, and you're bigger than the fortune. And let me tell you what happens to a person who practices this. And it's not going to happen overnight, but over time. When you practice this with honesty, with patience, you stop being owned. And something else begins to emerge. A steadiness. The steadiness of someone who feels everything. Who feels everything and is no longer afraid of any of it. Not this, not this. You are that. Namaste.